Hello.
Hey, hello, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
No, I'm excellent. Thanks. I'm better than I've been in my whole life.
Oh, really? Well, that's
Yeah, yeah,
nice
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
hear.
Yeah, that's
What? Can you tell me
amazing.
more about that?
No, no, I'm excellent because I'm here on Cambly talk to find people just like you.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Well, that's good. I
yeah.
That's a great thing to appreciate. Just appreciate the little
Yeah,
things. So.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. By the way, that's a beautiful smile you have.
Oh, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. It's
And welcome
important.
to Cambly, by the way. Welcome to Cambly. I see that you're getting the free trial lessons, so I'm thinking this is one of your free lessons or one of your first few lessons.
No, actually, I'm not a YouTuber, but I got a YouTube channel, and in my YouTube channel, I'm a musician, so I start my YouTube channel, post my videos about music, and then
Yeah.
when I start off to study English, I started to post my videos speaking English, share my experience, learn English, and because of my subscribers, I got some free coupons to use on Cambly. But I use
Oh,
Cambly like it's been um si- oh, how can I say that, in the beginning of this year, is that
okay.
right?
So you've been using Cambly since the beginning of this year, right?
Since the beginning of this year, exactly.
Yeah, since okay, I'll write that down for you. Since the beginning. All
Oh,
right.
since the beginning, so thanks. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like seriously and often, because I used to uh, had some lessons on Cambly, but I was kind of afraid of it. And then
What?
study more and more, like step by step, and I got some kind of confidence, and now I can survive.
Yeah. I think I think you're doing fantastic. Your English to me is really, really good. So,
Oh, really? Thanks.
yeah, I have
Oh,
to
it means
be.
a lot. Thanks.
No, I'm completely honest with you. Your English is really good. You're is really clear. You pronounce your words really well. I
Nice.
think you sound really articulate. So, I think it's a great place to start, which is basically at a really high level, right?
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. I'm trying to do my best shot. I know I need to step up my game and take my English skills up a notch. By the way, one of the nice things that happened to me since I started off to study English, it's I got another job, a new job, because I'm a musician, so I work as a music teacher, and I got another job because
Nice.
of the English. So now I'm gonna um, start to work in a music school, but there
Oh,
that so many native English speakers, because it's a bilingual school. So I have
okay.
to I have to teach music, but in English.
Yeah.
So it's a new challenge,
Mm.
a real challenge. So I have to
Step up your
improve,
game a little
step on my
bit.
game. Exactly. That's the expression.
Well, I think you're up for the challenge. I think so,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
congratulations on
I
the
have
new
to
job.
face it. I have to face it because in Brazil sometimes I'm from Brazil, by the way. And in Brazil, it's just a small amount of people know how to speak English, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's difficult to find out people who knows how to speak English, and that we can have a conversation, and
Right,
that's why
right.
Cambly it's so popular in Brazil. By the way,
Oh, okay. Sorry,
it's
I thought
my
that was my phone. I'm like,
no,
what's
it's
going
my
on here?
yeah, 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 yeah. Technology
all
stuff. Okay.
iPhones, all iPhones sounded like now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Okay,
I got
so
two. I got iPhone and I got Android too.
Ah, okay. I had just gotten a new iPhone. I had lost my iPhone, and it was the worst 3 weeks of my
Yeah,
life.
no, no,
It
no.
is a nightmare. I lost it at the airport. I live in Southeast Asia now.
Mm,
And I lost it at the airport because I was living in Malaysia and I was moving from
Malaysia.
Malaysia. Yeah, which is a great country, by the way. I was moving from Malaysia to Thailand and I lost it at the airport. And I finally got to Thailand and I looked up, find my iPhone, and somebody found it 3 days later. And then they took it to the country Brunei.
Hmm.
So now
Yeah,
my
it cannot
iPhone is in Brunei.
it cannot happen nowadays, because now our cell phones are everything.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah,
And the two-factor authentication, it was a nightmare. I just got a new phone,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it was like 3 weeks of like nothing, really, nothing good. So God
But
bless, I got a new phone.
I mean, no, nowadays, are you not anymore in Brooklyn, New York City?
No, I am in Thailand nowadays. I am currently at this
Oh,
very moment in Thailand.
interesting, interesting. By the way,
Yeah.
New York City, if I could travel abroad, one of the first city that I would like, that I really would like to know, it's New York City. You know,
I hear that a
but
lot.
if
I
you
hear that
move
a
to New
lot.
York City, maybe you don't like too much.
No, okay. I have to say this. It depends, I think. It depends on what type of person you are. You seem like a very like social, outgoing person. So New York City would I think you would do great in New York City, and also you would be able to utilize everything you New York City has to offer, right? Some people they say like, "Oh, I want to go to New York City." And then you talk more about it and then they're just like, well, I don't really like to go out too much, or well, I'm kind of shy, I don't really like, I like to stay at home, or I don't. And then I'm like, why would you want to spend so much of New York prices and New
Yeah,
York rent, and you won't use all the things that
exactly.
New York is good for, like if you want to be like a homebody and you don't really, like talking to people or being around people and stuff, then there's no reason to spend so much money to live in New York, because you're not even going to use the best part of New York, which is the social aspect of things, the being able to engage with people everywhere you go, things to do in the middle of the night. And, no matter what time, it could be 3 o'clock in the morning, four
Exactly.
o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. There's always
Yeah.
something to do. There's always somewhere
The
to eat.
city
There's always
that
something to
never
see.
sleep.
Yeah, so if
Mm,
you're not going to use those opportunities, then maybe New York
exactly.
isn't for you, but you seem like you would handle New York really well. So I think it depends on your personality. And of course, New York is expensive, but nobody goes to New York without knowing that it's going to be expensive. So,
Exactly.
but I
But
think
it's
it's completely worth it.
it's really the concrete jungle where dreams are made of, or it's just
Yeah.
a song.
I think so. I have to be honest with you. I think so. I was living there. I was born there. And I was raised in New Jersey, which is like 30 minutes away. So, but I officially moved there like 2009, around that time. And I was working there while I was living in Jersey. So I was basically there most of my life, if not all my life. And after a while, after like 10 plus years, 12 years, that for me, I was ready to move on to something different. And then COVID
Yeah, yeah.
happened. So I was time to go. But I think it was definitely one of the best 10, 12 years, and it created, it created something like it was the best, my best formidable, like my formative years, as adult, like adult formative years. Like I've learned so much. I've experienced so much. There's stories that if I tell people, no one would even think is true, like because
Yeah,
and it would never really happen outside of New York. Maybe LA it would, but like,
yeah, of
or
course.
maybe Miami, but there's some of the things that I've seen and experienced will only make sense or only happen in New York. So it's just one of those things that I'm grateful that I've I moved there. I'm grateful that I've lived there, most of my life, and I think it's worth it. It's worth seeing. It's worth living. It's worth everything. That whatever you're imagining is probably that 10 times more.
Yeah, yeah, I know the vibes. That's cool. That's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah. So
But
tell me
you still
about your.
have that tough New York accent or not?
I okay. It's funny you asked because when I am speaking on Cambly, teaching English, I try my
You
best
have
to
to.
now.
I know the vibes. You
Yeah,
have to take it easy.
yeah. I enunciate my words better. I speak louder. I speak clearer. But I think when I'm with my friends from New York and New Jersey, the accent does creep up. Especially if you're like at a party or something.
Yeah,
You don't have to think that much about, because you're speaking to someone that isn't a native English speaker. Well, when you're speaking to your friends, it's like everyone's from New York, or has been around New York. Everyone speaks English. So the accent comes out a little bit more, but I don't think I have a tough New York accent.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay,
you
okay, okay,
know,
okay. No problem.
I I don't think so, because I think the stereotypical New York accent that you hear on TV, like with like the Italian mob and like this kind of stuff. A lot of times that's New
Yeah,
Jersey. Like that's actually in New Jersey, more New Jersey than New York. Of course, maybe like Westchester and these places is like that. Also Staten Island, which is a borough of New York. But I think most people sound more like me in New York, like just normal
yeah.
American accent, but it creeps up here and there. So yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's because right here in Brazil, there's a lot of American culture integrated in our country, and things about New York. There's a lot, like movies, series, songs, And when I remember when I started off to study English, I started to learn about slang, but I just
Oh,
like to know about slang from New York, you know.
oh my good. New York
And
slang is, oh goodness.
exactly, and I Google about and I Google it, on YouTube,
uh,
tell me slang from New York,
New York.
and I learned a lot. Yeah,
Oh my good. I'm scared to even ask what you learned because I'm sure I know what the words you're gonna say.
of course, of course, of course.
So it's
That's
New York
interesting.
is
That's
its own
interesting.
thing. It's very interesting, very
That's
interesting.
interesting. Interesting
But
culture.
which part of Brazil are you from?
I live in São Paulo. Do you know
Ah,
anything
another
about
big
São Paulo?
city. I
Yeah,
don't
big
know
city.
much. And I don't know much, but I think I've heard like it's kind of almost like the New York of Brazil, maybe, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's like, for example, the capital of Brazil, it's Brasilia, but the really capital, like the economic capital, where the people really are, is São Paulo, because it's one of the biggest
Yeah.
city in Brazil.
Mhm.
There are 11 million people, kind of,
Wow.
and just in the city, and yeah, with the most population too. There's a lot of places to go, and
Hmm. You see,
and
my
a lot of
biggest
communities, like communities from around the whole world.
all
And
over,
exactly, yeah, yeah,
yeah. I heard that there's like well, obviously there's a big Portuguese community because this is Portugal, like from people from Portugal. But I also heard there's a Japanese
yeah, yeah, yeah.
community there,
Japanese,
which
Italian, Chinese, and there's a lot.
yeah,
And it's
yeah, that's really interesting.
nearby Rio de Janeiro.
Ah,
Yeah,
which is
it's pretty
even,
next.
yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty next.
yeah. You see, so I actually lived in Latin America for a few years. When I first left New York, it was 2020, and I spent most of the first couple years in Latin America. My biggest regret was not going to Brazil because I was already having a hard time with Spanish, so I was scared to start over with Portuguese. Do you
Mm.
feel as though like the Spanish, Portuguese language? Is there a lot of that? Oh no. Okay, we don't have
Oh, our
enough time
time
for
is
the
almost.
answer.
Yes, time up. But
It's
okay,
been
nice
great talking
talking.
to you. Yes,
Yeah,
been
nice
great talking to you.
talking. I
Please
love
feel
it.
free to
I
put
love it.
yourself in